School ruined learning. Albert Einstein, one of the most exceptional figures in history, said, "School failed me, and I failed school." Now, why would Einstein, who is regarded as one of the most intelligent people to ever live, someone we're taught in the school and education institution themselves, would be known for disliking the education system? And I think we all know why. School is not is not meant for education. This might sound weird for some of you, but it makes sense. If you look at the history, the school system, at least here in the West, in America, was taken by the Prussian system, which was, when it was developed, was intended to create soldiers of war, obedient men who would do what they were told when they needed to, which is essentially, if you're a soldier, you need that. And it also works perfectly well for an obedient worker working in the factory. You understand this. When you're in a job or you're working, there's no room for really any discussion. It's just your boss tells you what to do and you do it like a machine. Same in war. You're given orders and you follow them perfectly, without question. And the problem is the learning itself, the act of growing more intelligent and growing more intelligent requires questioning. It requires creative thinking, which is the exact antithesis of what the school system is designed to be. You see, we all know this throughout history. The most exceptional men were not just intelligent. They had creativity. They needed creativity. Intelligence without creativity is just useless knowledge. You're just an encyclopedia at that point. Like, if you can name every single exceptional scientist, you say, "Oh, this person, because they invented this." How were they able to invent it? Not just through knowledge of learning a book, through creative intelligence and a learning system, and most importantly, through failure. This is the next problem with the school system. Learning requires failure, yet our education system punishes failure. Our society as a whole punishes failure. And this just gets me so mad, because they say they care about you. They say, "Oh, it's okay. We have room for everybody." But then they turn the other cheek when you don't get an A, and they call you a failure, a loser. You have this mental problem. You need to take pills. There's something wrong with you. No. This goes back so many layers, and just how much the education system has really just manipulated our entire society as a sort of facade. We know there are flaws in the system, yet when we try to change it, or we say it out loud, we say, "Yeah, but we still need it. We still need school. We still need to learn." But no, we can't keep denying the reality that this system has failed us and will continue to fail us as the years go by. There's a reason why literacy rates have dropped. Okay, it's not just, I'd understand maybe a part of it is maybe the kid's fault, but at the same time, I think the real issue is really just the failure of our education system. I mean, and what's crazy to me is that this is no conspiracy theory or whatever. We know it's flawed, yet for some reason we don't do anything about it. We're we're so complacent in, you know, letting them be that, I mean, we don't do anything about it. It's nuts to me. Like just how far our corrupt system. I mean, at this point, we don't even hide it. I remember when I was in high school, our teachers weren't even pretending to try to teach us anything. Seriously, they just said, "All right, here's what you need on the test. Here's how you do it. Here's a cheat sheet, and go do it." And then, of course, after you take the test, all that knowledge, all that information is just dumped out. Your brain throws it in the trash and rinse and repeat. And here's the next problem of school. Why? The system is fundamentally flawed. School never teaches us how to actually apply the information. Okay? They never teach us how to either apply or at least how to use the techniques for us to learn information properly. Okay? Because I've come to a conclusion that the reason we're in school isn't to learn the subjects themselves, but is more or less to teach us the rudimentary system of working in an environment where, okay, you take orders from a boss and then you do it, or it teaches us how to do assignments from authority figures. And my dad has this argument that says, "Oh yeah, but without school, how would you learn? How would you learn to read?" Well, sucks for you. Why are literacy rates dropping here in America? It's the school system itself. It's complete bullshit. It's entirely a sham. Like, I used to think, okay, but maybe it has some quality. You still need school. There's still people who go there, and you still need to, practice and meet people. But again, and like, this is another thing that's just wrong. The whole socialization thing is bullshit too. Because then why are people more antisocial now than ever? Huh? School doesn't do fucking shit. It doesn't. And I'm tired of pretending that it does. Okay? I'm tired of it. The only value school has is because parts of our society deems it valuable. And you kind of need it to survive. But even nowadays, right? I mean, even now, where having a degree, like I've just been seeing videos of people who have a PhD and who went to medical school are now homeless. They're now homeless. So all those years of school and being a straight A student for what? Oh my God. It's become a sham now. All of it. All of it's become a sham. There's no longer an excuse anymore. There's no more excuse. And I think I already said this, but yeah, school never teaches us how to actually apply the information. You have to figure that out yourself. Okay? And this is what really bugged me. I remember when if you've ever seen The Shawshank Redemption, there's this scene in the movie where one of the old men get out of prison, And he narrates that he's been in prison so long, he can no longer have his own agency to just go to the bathroom himself. He has to ask. And I remember a few years ago, my mom brought me to this place in the library to watch a movie. And I raised my hand to ask the lady that was watching over us a question to ask her whether or not I could go to a bathroom. And she said, "You don't have to ask me." Even though I did it multiple times, she kept refuting the fact that you don't have to ask me to go to the bathroom. And it's only now that I realize with disgust that, oh my God, school is a fucking prison. And it's ironic too, because the people who made the school system, who designed the architecture of the buildings, were the same people who designed the prisons. I mean, now they'd say, oh, but we have to, right? The kids are too rowdy. They're too jumpy, especially the young men. And the boys, they're out and about. They're just moving around. They're going crazy. But like, yeah, no shit, buddy. We're human beings. We weren't decided to be confined in the small classroom and to be ordered around by a nanny teacher who really takes away all your free will and agency. It's because school is a big reason why I don't have as much of a backbone and agency. And I'm now starting to realize this and starting to become a rebel. I mean, whatever that means for me. Like, no, I won't stand for this. I won't. The most exceptional men in history not let an institution designed for conformity to limit themselves. And I realize now this is a problem that's so baked into us in our system, because it feels like we can't do anything about it. The system's the way it is. But no, it shouldn't be. We can't just be complacent about this. Okay? I mean, school has taken too much. It has robbed our creativity, our agency, our ability to think critically. Right? And I talked about this before earlier, but school is just filled with the rot of hypocrisy. They say one thing and yet really want another. I mean, it's just absolutely infuriating. I hate it. Because it is a facade of what life is and can be. Now, I understand a lot of people some of you will disagree in the point. Like, again, school is somewhat necessary and you can say it's done a lot of good. I mean, yeah, sure, okay, but not anymore. It's outdated. It's over. School doesn't work anymore. But the problem is, I think, even if we replace the school system, the entire system of our society just is not built for this, for creative agency. It's really built for conformity. And in a weird way, I think human societies are designed for this, almost as a sense of conformity. In the past, it was the nobility, and then they owned their slaves. But now, right, it's the worker and then the boss. But I don't know. I just needed to rant about this because genuinely, school just disgusts me. And this is funny because I was a straight A student. and I absolutely hated the environment. That's not even getting into the problem with the food. The food in in school is literal poison, okay? Fast food, cookies, sugar. I mean, it's literal poison. I mean, it's almost as if let's not get into I don't want to get into any conspiracy theories, but it's almost as if they designed this on purpose as a way to as them knowing it would turn our society into into this this rot. I'm sorry. If I sound a little disgruntled, it's just this is a very personal topic. To me. Okay. This is very personal to me, and I just feel like if it wasn't for school, I would be a very different person right now. Now, does this mean you need to drop out of high school? Originally, I would say no, but again, it really depends because nowadays, I mean, we don't even know what's going on. Degrees may or may not be useful. Corporate culture, capitalism is changing so much. We honestly don't know what the future will be. Things are changing too fast, and I just feel like, I mean, let's look at it. If this video works, if like, let's say if my channel pops off, that school would have no agency in that. No degree, no paper, no education, no formal education would have a hand in that. Okay? I'm sorry. I just need to get through with this. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, it's funny, like Finland, right? We know that our education can be better. Finland has half the hours of education that here in the West we have, and yet their education system is better than us. But why don't we implement it? Again, it's just this complacency and changing. It's like the system's the way it is and we don't do anything about it. We don't care. But to be honest, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like in time, with the internet, with AI, with increasingly all these systems where kids are just breezing by, and with our education rates and intelligence getting lower and lower, it'll prove to be that in the future, like school will, I think, it'll force us to really contemplate and review the system we have and hopefully change it for the better. Anyways, that's just me rambling. Thank you for watching.